Happy Egg People Friday. Yay. Um, so last time I was on here, I talked to you about layoffs and the process and how things need to change in terms of processing layoffs and communicating layoffs and things like that. On a different but similar note, I wanted to talk about um, when we are acquired by another organization, or we have a reorg where the leadership or CEO changes. And so the reason why that's important to look at and review is because when you're acquired by an organization, when your company is acquired by another company, and you're the leader of the newly acquired company, there has to be some messaging, right? Because the old values are no longer probably in play. So you have to update the values, and you have to make sure that everybody understands what the new expectations are. Oftentimes, what happens is you have these sort of micro companies that are all operating under the same company name, but operating differently. They have different processes, different functions, different ways of doing business, because they were all separate entities before they were acquired. And so it makes it so that things aren't flowing as smoothly as they could be. So if your company has acquired another organization, it's up to those leaders to start to set that stage, communicate the changes that are happening, communicate the way in which business is done, and allow for any suggestions on how there could be changes made. And then also being able to communicate the new values, the new guiding principles of your organization, whatever is changing from the old way to the new way, and then also allowing for suggestions. The same is true when you reorg and there's a leadership change or a CEO change. Sometimes companies, when they founded, have a CEO that has particular mission, vision, and values. And as there become multiple iterations of CEOs, those mission, vision, and values change. But they never change sort of in the sense that on your, marketing information, your website, your internal resources, right? So you're still being held to these same value principles, but the culture may be sharing some other value concepts and principles. And so I encourage you that if you're a CEO and you just took over, or you're part of a leadership team that is brand new or just went through a reorg, that you have open meetings with the organization to say, here is the vision I see for the company going now. Here are the values that we are implementing, changing, or revising, or here's them and making changes to them. Again, these are all important things, but these are areas where companies often get tripped up because they make changes like hiring new leaders, but they don't actually communicate to the employees how this impacts their employment journey. And they are a big part of this process. That's my tip for the day. So on a people partner, if you've had an acquisition, been part of an acquisition lately, had a new leadership change or a new CEO, I encourage you to go out and figure out a way to make the communication more straightforward, and to make sure that your employees, both the new and existing, understand how to move forward in such a way with the new changes that have been put in place. Happy People Friday. Wishing you all the best. Have a great weekend.